Welcome, my friends. Today I want to show you a few tricks and tips that I learned with a combo chart in Power BI. What is the combo chart? It's that one where you can show two metrics in two separate y-axes, one with the bars, one with the lines. So you can kind of clear all the cluster in your dashboard, show a bunch of information into one chart, but be careful not to show too much information so you don't overwhelm the user. So I'm gonna show you how you can best use this solution and a few things that I use in my work daily that has helped me to better leverage this solution. So stick to me till the very end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give the thumbs up, and leave your comments below. Let's go. All right, so what do I mean by a combo dashboard? Okay, so a combo dashboard, I bring that wording from Excel, right? Excel does call that combo dashboard. Here in Power BI, it actually calls line and stacked column chart or line and clustered column chart. I like to call it combo dashboard, sue me, okay? But basically what it is, it's a chart where you have your x-axis, usually a time axis. In here, I'm showing it by month. And then you have two vertical axes, okay? So you can, in the same chart, show two separate metrics or correlated metrics. I'm going to show you a few uses of this tool so you can leverage this solution in your dashboards, okay? So let me go ahead and open a new page. So I want to show you how to do this. This data set is a sample data set. I think it's called, Superstore sample. I actually brought that from Tableau. They share that publicly. And I like to use for examples in Power BI, okay? So I have here a table with all the orders. I'm gonna pull sales into my dashboard. So I have here the total sales, and for my x-axis, I wanna pull the month name, okay? So we have a clear view for my total sales for each month of the year. This is accumulated for all the years I have. So let me actually add a year filter. Let me put that in here. Let me change that into a slicer, and I'm going to go to the formatting options, and I want to make that a tile. Also, I want the user to single select so they only see 1 year at a time. For some reason, I have this weird blank in here. Let me filter that out. Go to the filter tab. In the year, I'm going to change this to basic filtering and select everything but the blank and 2018. I know I don't have a bunch of records in 2018. Let me close this filter tab. Let me check. Okay, so it's working. I can play with the filters and it will change the totals for my chart. Okay, so how do I create that combo chart? You go to the visualizations pane and you see that there are two combo charts in here. One if you want to do a stacked column chart, and one if you want to do a clustered column chart. To be honest, I don't like to use that too much, like have a stack chart and a line chart all on the same visualization, because I feel like that's overwhelming. That's just too much information. That there might be use cases for this, but in this example, I'm going to show you just a simple bar chart and a simple line chart, some very real world examples that I use. So I'm going to change this into the second option, the line and stacked column chart. Okay, so we have the total sales for each month. And now I'm going to add a line in here. And the first example I want to show you is to add the running total sales in here. Okay, that's very useful, especially when you look into sales, right? You want to see the trend month by month, but you also want to see the total sales for the year and how far are you from a target, right? If you're working with sales, you probably have a target or a goal you want to reach in that year. So having the cumulative total sales for the year, it's very, very useful, and you can have that information right here as a line. So I have a measure that I already created here. Power BI makes it so easy for you to create these quick calculations. In this one, it's called sales year to date. So you see here in the options for this visualization now, instead of just the y-axis, I have a second option here for line y-axis. That's where I'm going to drop the metric for my line chart on top of this one. So I'm going to select sales year to date. I'm going to drop it in here. And you see that it creates the line chart. It's good. It's a cumulative total, but the bar charts went way down and their size is so small. It's very, very hard to compare one month to the other. That's because by default, Power BI align both axes so they share the same total in here on the left. That's not what I want. I want to have independent y-axis. So how do I do that? With the chart selected, I'm going to go to the formatting option tab, and then you're going to go to this option secondary y-axis and hit this toggle right here, align zeros. Okay, so what happened is now you have two separate y-axis, one on the left for the bars, in this case sum of sales, and one on the right, in this case sales year to date, or the cumulative total sales for the year. It's a very clean, very simple visualization that you can use to showcase exactly that. You see, you have the absolute values for each month, but you also have the cumulative total, and you can see how you're tracking to your overall target. In this case, maybe it might be $500,000. You're at 470. So it's very, very easy for you to see and track to that goal. Okay. And you can change the filters in here if you want to see other years. I'm going to create a second copy of these. I want to show you a second use case for this. So I have a second chart here on the right. Another use is for when you want to see two separate metrics that kind of correlate with each other, right? For example, if you want to see the margin percentage for each month on top of your total sales, okay? Because there might be the case that you see a stellar performance for a specific month in volume of sales, but maybe that came with a cost because you discounted too much and you're hitting your margin, so you want to see that overlaid, so it's easy for you to spot if that's the case or not. I also have a calculation here called margin percentage, which is basically my margin divided by the total sales. So I'm gonna drop that one and swap that with the sales year to date. Let me close this one up. And now, very simply, I have the same bars with the total sales for each month. And now I also have a margin percentage showing the ups and downs. And we can see that, like for example, in November, let me check. Yeah, there we go. 2017, great example. We had a very good performance in November, right? Black Friday period, holidays are coming. We had like high volume of sales, but at what cost? We can see that in October, our margin percentage was 12%. In November, it went down to actually 8%, okay? So that makes sense, right? You discounted too much because you wanna hit your targets, or maybe you had a different strategy because you want a higher volume of sales, but that came with a cost and hit your margin, right? In December, you kind of picked up. So it's very easy for you to see. Like in March, for example, you increased your sales by not that much. Like February was very, very bad month. It was the worst for all months of the year. But in March, like your sales increased by a bunch and your margin percent was at 25%. So what is going on? Like, did you launch a new product or something else happened? So it's very good because it's easy for you to overlay these two informations that correlate with each other, and you can kind of start asking the right questions and start to look into the right things you want to see in order to better optimize your sales and your business. The last example I want to share with you is one that I like very much, is that one where I show the volume of sales, and on top of that, I show a growth rate. In this case, I'm going to show the year-over-year growth on top of the absolute sales. So how do I do that? Very, very simple. We already learned that. It's just drag and drop. I already have that calculation here for year over year. I use the quick measure option in Power BI. I'm going to create more videos and show you how to do that, but it's very straightforward and very simple. I'm just going to drop that measure in here and remove my margin. So now I have total sales, but I also have the year over year calculations as well. You can see that the year over year also has some negative values, right? In May, for example, May looked like a good month in sales, but it was actually like negative 22% year over year. So what happened? We can start investigating that. In this case of the year over year, one thing that I like to do is actually swap the line with the bars. I like to show the actual sales in the line chart and the year over year in the bar chart, because it's easier for you to create a conditional formatting, so you can show on the bars the different colors for positive growth versus negative growth. Okay, so let's do that real quick. So on this one, I'm going to swap. Instead of showing sales year over year on the line, I want to show it on the columns and sales on the line. Okay, so you can see same information, but represented in a very different way, where the total sales for each month is on the line chart, but you can see that the bars represent the year over year. And now it's very easy to spot the negatives. You see, they're below the 0% line. A last step that I want to add here is create that conditional formatting so you can change the color of these bars based on their values. So with the chart selected, I'm going to go to the formatting tab. I'm going to go to the columns, and instead of selecting an individual color, I want to click on this FX, right? That's the conditional formatting option for the color of the bars. It's going to open this view, and I'm going to create a rule based off of the sales year over year measure. So let's select that measure. This guy right here, sales year over year, right? So if it's larger than, let's say, -1 number, you need to change this into number, not the percent. Okay, I'm gonna pick a color here. Let's do the actual red. Okay, and I'm gonna add a new rule here. Actually, let's leave as is. Okay, and hit OK. Okay, you can create another rule for different brackets, right? From 0 to 10%, 25. Anyways, I just want to simplify and show you how to do it and the effect that it has on the overall chart. So you can see that very easy and very intuitive. Like, I think that that's the point. It's very easy for someone who don't understand your data to come here and easily spot that the reds are bad, right? Something is happening. What's going on? Oh, negative year over year. Of course, that's bad. And you can see the trend overlaid one with the other. November, for example, we had a very good performance in total sales, but we also had a very good year over year, like 49%. My goodness, that's a growth over there. So something we did very, very well in November, and we probably want to investigate and learn more so we can replicate that in the future. But with this chart, we can see that, oh, we had a good November. No, we had a great November, because not only the absolute amount was high, the year over year was stellar, like about 50% higher than last year. So by having this combo chart, you see how it's easy for you to have more in-depth insights of your data, right? But be careful not to overlay too much information. For example, it's very hard for you to add labels in here, right? Because if you start adding data labels, you see how that becomes very cluttered. You probably need to color code these so you know what's the percentage, what's the actual amount. It's very confusing. So be careful not to overcomplicate things or overwhelm your chart with too much information to the point that that's overwhelming, right? It's not of very good use anymore. But in this case, I think these are 3 examples that are very good to use with the combo chart. So total sales with a running total sales with a margin percentage can be units sold, etc. And in this case, total sales with the year-over-year performance as well. Okay, I hope you liked the content. If so, don't forget to hit the thumbs up right here, subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments below. Thank you very much.